If you are over 60 and have noticed your muscles aren't quite what they used to be, or if getting up from a chair takes just a little more effort than it should, please listen closely. If you feel weaker than you did just a few years ago, what I am about to show you could change everything. Over the next few minutes, I want to share 5 ancient grains that help rebuild muscle specifically for those over 60. These aren't the ordinary grains you find in every kitchen cupboard, these are time-tested superfoods that civilizations have relied on for thousands of years. The first one on my list, the most powerful of them all, is a tiny grain most Americans have never even heard of. My name is Dr. Michael, and for the past 20 years, I have helped thousands of seniors build strength and maintain their independence. I have watched the frustration in their eyes when they struggle with tasks that used to be easy, and I have seen the genuine fear of losing their independence. However, I have also witnessed remarkable transformations when people discover the right foods. A comprehensive study from the Journal of Nutrition followed seniors for 18 months and found that those who incorporated specific muscle-building grains into their diet gained significantly more muscle mass than those who didn't, even without changing their exercise routine. If you have noticed your arms getting thinner, if your legs feel weaker on the stairs, or if you are worried about becoming dependent on others, this message is for you. Stay with me, and you will have a complete plan to start rebuilding muscle as soon as this week. Please drop your age in the comments right now, I want to know exactly who I am helping today. Before I reveal these 5 grains, let me explain what is really happening inside your body. This is important because understanding the problem helps you appreciate why these solutions work so well. After the age of 60, you start losing muscle at a rate of about 3% to 8% every decade. Scientists call this sarcopenia, and it is one of the leading causes of falls, fractures, and the loss of independence in seniors. So, what causes this muscle loss? Think of your muscles like a bank account. Remarkable for a grain. It also contains high levels of antioxidants, even more than blueberries in some studies. Why do antioxidants matter for muscle? Because they reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which accelerate muscle breakdown as we age. A study from Texas A&M University found that the antioxidants in sorghum help protect muscle cells from damage during exercise and daily activity. This means your muscles can recover faster and maintain their strength better. Sorghum is also completely gluten-free and has a low glycemic index, making it perfect for seniors with blood sugar concerns or gluten sensitivity. Its chewy texture and slightly nutty flavor make it satisfying and versatile. Ideally, you want about 1 cup cooked per day, split between 2 meals. Sorghum takes longer to cook than other grains, about 45 to 60 minutes, so I recommend batch cooking. Make a large pot on Sunday and refrigerate it for the week, adding it to salads, soups, or serving it warm with vegetables and your protein of choice. Number 3 is amaranth. Now we are getting into the truly powerful muscle builders. Amaranth was so valued by the Aztecs that they called it the grain of the gods. When Spanish conquistadors arrived, they actually banned amaranth because they feared its power. That is how important this grain was to ancient warriors. Amaranth is one of the rare plant foods that contains all 9 essential amino acids, making it a complete protein just like meat, eggs, or fish. 1 cup of cooked amaranth provides about 9 grams of highly bioavailable protein, plus exceptional amounts of iron, magnesium, phosphorus, and manganese. Here is something fascinating: amaranth contains 3 times more calcium than other grains. Calcium doesn't just support bones, it is essential for muscle contraction. Every time you move or your heart beats, calcium is involved. Low calcium means weaker muscle contractions and faster fatigue. Research from the International Journal of Food Sciences found that amaranth protein is up to 90% digestible. Compare that to some animal proteins that are only 70% to 80% digestible. The lysine content in amaranth is particularly impressive. Lysine is an amino acid that most grains lack, but it is critical for muscle protein synthesis. Amaranth contains twice the lysine of wheat and 3 times the lysine of corn. You need about half a cup of cooked amaranth per day. It has a slightly nutty, earthy flavor with a porridge-like texture when cooked. Use it as a breakfast cereal with berries and nuts, mix it into soups as a thickener, or pop it like popcorn for a crunchy snack. Dorothy, a 69-year-old retired teacher from Phoenix, had been losing strength steadily for 3 years. She started eating amaranth for breakfast, just half a cup with fresh fruit and a drizzle of honey. After 3 weeks, she told me something that brought tears to my eyes. She said, "I carried all my groceries up the stairs in one trip. I stopped on the landing and realized I wasn't even out of breath. That hasn't happened in years." If you think amaranth is impressive, wait until you hear about number 2, quinoa. You have probably heard of quinoa by now as it has become trendy in health food circles, but most people don't understand just how powerful it is specifically for building muscle after 60. Quinoa contains about 8 grams of complete protein per cooked cup. However, protein quantity isn't what makes quinoa special, it is the quality. Quinoa is extraordinarily rich in leucine, the amino acid that acts as the master switch for muscle protein synthesis. Let me explain why leucine matters so much for seniors. When you eat protein, your body doesn't automatically start building muscle, it needs a signal. Leucine is that signal. It tells your cells to start the muscle building process. Research from McMaster University found that seniors need more leucine than younger people to flip that switch. While a young person might need 1.5 grams of leucine per meal, someone over 60 might need 2.5 to 3 grams. Quinoa delivers leucine in amounts that can trigger muscle building, especially when combined with other protein sources. Quinoa also contains quercetin and camphorol, plant compounds with powerful anti-inflammatory effects, creating a better environment for muscle growth. Practically speaking, you need about 1.5 cups of cooked quinoa per day, split between lunch and dinner. The best strategy is to pair quinoa with another protein source like fish, chicken, tofu, or eggs. The combined leucine triggers a stronger muscle-building response than either food alone. One tip that most people miss: always rinse your quinoa before cooking. It has a natural coating called saponin that tastes bitter, but 30 seconds under cold water removes it completely and dramatically improves the taste. And now, number 1, the grain that surprised even the researchers. This is the one I am most excited to share with you, teff. I know, most Americans have never heard of it, but this tiny grain from Ethiopia might be the most powerful muscle-building food you aren't eating. Teff is incredibly small, about the size of a poppy seed. In fact, the name teff comes from the Ethiopian word for lost, because if you drop it, you will never find it. But don't let its size fool you. Gram for gram, teff contains more protein and nutrients than almost any other grain on earth. 1 cup of cooked teff delivers about 10 grams of complete protein, higher than quinoa and higher than amaranth. But protein is just the beginning. Teff is extraordinarily high in iron, which carries oxygen to your muscles. When iron levels are low, your muscles fatigue quickly, you feel weak, and exercise becomes exhausting. Teff provides up to 80% of your daily iron needs in just 1 serving. It is also remarkably high in calcium, containing more per cup than half a cup of cooked spinach. But here's what really sets teff apart: it contains a unique type of resistant starch that feeds beneficial bacteria in your gut. Why does gut health matter for muscle? Because your gut is where you absorb nutrients. An unhealthy gut can absorb less than half the protein you eat, while a healthy gut absorbs nearly all of it. A study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that teff's amino acid profile is nearly identical to egg protein, which scientists consider the gold standard for muscle building. It also has one of the lowest glycemic indices of any grain, providing steady energy without the crash. To use teff, aim for about 1 cup cooked per day, ideally at breakfast. It has a mild, slightly sweet flavor with hints of molasses and chocolate. Cook it as a porridge similar to oatmeal, adding nuts, berries, and a touch of honey. Robert, a 72-year-old retired engineer from Chicago, was skeptical when I first told him about teff. He said, "I've never heard of it. How can something I've never seen help me?" But he gave it a try, eating teff porridge every morning for 6 weeks. When I saw him again, he showed me his arms; he had visibly more definition. He told me his wife noticed before he did and asked if he had been lifting weights. He hadn't. It was just the teff combined with the other changes he made. Let me show you how to put all 5 of these grains together into a practical daily routine. In the morning, start your day with 1 cup of cooked teff porridge topped with walnuts, blueberries, and a drizzle of honey. This gives you about 14 grams of muscle-building protein before you even leave the kitchen. At lunch, have a grain bowl with 3/4 of a cup of quinoa as your base, adding vegetables, a protein source, and a healthy dressing. That is another 12 to 15 grams of protein. For your afternoon snack, try a small portion of popped amaranth mixed with nuts and dried fruit. At dinner, have half a cup of amaranth or sorghum alongside your main protein and vegetables. Add millet to soups or as a side dish 2 to 3 times per week for variety. You don't have to eat all 5 grains every day, just rotate them and keep it interesting. In my next video, I am going to show you 5 plant proteins that work even better than meat for building muscle after 60, including a specific way to prepare tofu that maximizes absorption. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to this channel. I share new videos every week with simple, practical ways to stay strong and independent after 60. And if you know someone who is worried about losing muscle, please share this video with them, it could change their life. Which of these 5 grains will you try first? Teff, quinoa, amaranth, sorghum, or millet? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one and would love to hear about your results. Your muscles haven't given up on you, your body is waiting to rebuild. You just need to give it the roadmap. Now, take that first step and try teff tomorrow morning. You deserve to feel strong again. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Before you go, there is one more critical element to this puzzle that I must mention, something that acts as the ignition fluid for all the grains I just listed. It is hydration. Many seniors suffer from chronic, low-level dehydration because our sense of thirst diminishes as we age. When your muscles are dehydrated, they cannot effectively process the protein you are eating, no matter how high the quality. Water transports these vital nutrients into the cells. If you are eating teff and quinoa but not drinking enough water, you are essentially buying premium fuel for a car with a clogged fuel line. Aim to drink a glass of water with every single meal involving these grains to maximize absorption and aid digestion. Furthermore, consistency is your greatest ally. These grains are powerful, but they are not magic pills. It took years for muscle mass to decline, and it will take a few weeks of consistent nutrition to see a reversal. Be patient with your body, stay hydrated, and trust the process. Strength is returning, one meal at a time.